Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me on LinkedIn Live. I'm Roshni, founder and CEO of True Root Financial. In this webinar, I will walk you through a 6-step playbook to protect and accelerate the wealth you've built. This session is designed for someone like you who put in the grind, whether you've grown your net worth through RSUs, stock options, a top-tier salary, or early startup bets that paid off spectacularly. You might be an engineer, or you might lead finance, HR, or marketing at your company. Regardless of your role, you've shown perseverance and hard work, and now your wealth needs a reliable steward to keep it growing. Now, why does preserving wealth feel overwhelming? First, high tax brackets. Your hard-earned income and built-up capital gains can push you into top-tier rates. Second, you might have complex equity packages. Timing RSU sales or option exercises is like solving a multi-year puzzle of risk management and tax planning. Third, you might be going through a life transition. You may be eyeing a career pivot, a sabbatical, or the jump to angel investing, but haven't had time to plan, or you're thinking about legacy, charitable giving, and passing wealth to the next generation, and you need expert guidance. In this webinar, we're going to walk through a 6-step framework designed specifically for you, high net worth tech professionals who have worked tirelessly to build significant wealth through equity compensation, high salaries, or early startup investments. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by complex stock option packages, anxious about taxes, or unsure how to steward your newfound wealth into a secure future, you're in the right place. Today, we'll break down each step in plain English and share real-life examples to bring these concepts to life. By the end of this session, you'll walk away with actionable strategies to, number 1, invest tax smart. Choose the right vehicles and strategies so more of your gains stay in your pocket. Number 2, optimize your equity, reduce concentration risk and taxes on RSUs, options, and grants. Number 3, execute advanced tax strategies, leverage rules like QSBS exclusions and 83B elections to keep more of what you've earned. Number 4, safeguard your future, use estate planning and insurance to protect your family and assets. Number 5, plan your legacy and lifestyle, map out charitable giving, wealth transfer, and the life you really want. Number 6, partner with the right advisor. You don't have to go it alone. Align with someone who truly understands your goals. Before we dive into step 1, let me tell you a little about my journey and why I launched True Root Financial in Hoizeit Egwa. I've spent over 2 decades in the financial industry. I started at Goldman Sachs, where I helped ultra-high net worth individuals, clients with $10 million or more in investable assets, navigate everything from portfolio construction to legacy planning. After nearly 10 years there, I moved to Bessemer Trust, working with ultra-high net worth families to design bespoke wealth plans. Later at BlackRock, I managed institutional portfolios, think endowments and pension funds, with billions of dollars in assets. Through these roles, I gained deep insight into what works and what doesn't in both personal and institutional investing. But I kept noticing a gap. Tech professionals like you, suddenly flush with RSUs, stock options, or big startup wins, were left to Google how to manage my equity at midnight. Advisors often sold commission-based products or offered piecemeal advice, with conflicts of interest lurking under the surface. Many advisors only offered investing help without the comprehensive wealth planning, which is vital to preserve and grow your net worth in the long term. In 2020, I founded True Root Financial on 2 core beliefs. 1, fiduciary. First, your advisor must always act in your best interest. 2, comprehensive solutions. You deserve a unified strategy that integrates investment management with holistic financial planning. We're 100% fee-only and fiduciary. No commissions, no hidden kickbacks, and no incentives to push one product over another. If 2 solutions are identical, we'll recommend the lower cost option every time. That objectivity allows us to tailor bespoke plans for tech professionals facing complex equity, tax, and life transition challenges. Imagine you're on a voyage across the ocean. Some advisors hand you a compass that sometimes points south when north would be better, because they're secretly steering you toward a hidden island where they get a cut. At TrueRoot, we give you a reliable compass, a clear map, and sail with you, ensuring every decision aligns with your destination, wealth preservation, and growth. Now, let's embark on this wealth-preserving journey together. Step 1. Invest tax smart. For high net worth tech professionals, taxes often feel like the single largest expense you will ever face. When you hold a concentrated position in your company's stock, substantial capital gains can build up quietly over time. And if you're not vigilant, Uncle Sam will claim a significant portion of those gains. At TrueRoot Financial, we begin every engagement by weaving tax loss harvesting into your ongoing investment process. By selling those underperformers and then reinvesting after the 31-day wash sale window into nearly identical securities, we capture losses that directly offset gains elsewhere in your portfolio, often your RSU or option sales. In practice, this means if you realize $200,000 in gains on RSUs in a given quarter, locking in $50,000 of losses from other positions reduces your taxable gain to $150,000 and saving you roughly $12,000 to $15,000 in federal taxes alone. Now, this approach comes with a major challenge. In a market that's mostly going up, it's hard to find enough opportunities to sell stocks at a loss. To solve that, we've built an active approach that does two things at once. It keeps your portfolio invested for strong returns, and it deliberately captures small losses every day. Here's how it works. We spread your money across hundreds of individual positions, and whenever one of those dips below its purchase price, we sell just enough to lock in that loss. Then we reinvest in a very similar security, keeping your overall risk and return profile on track. Think of it like a gardener who prunes a little bit of dead growth each day so the entire plant stays healthy and vigorous. By running this process through rigorous quantitative models, we stay disciplined and never stray from your investment plan. The result is a portfolio that not only chases gains, but also harvests losses along the way, giving you better after-tax performance than a traditional buy and hold approach. Thanks to this quantitative overlay, one client remarked that after a year of this approach, his tax season went from a frantic scramble to a routine update. We had created enough capital losses to minimize his capital gains, and all of this was planned from the outset. For fixed income allocations, we guide clients into municipal bonds tailored to their state residence. Take another client with a $5 million portfolio and a 37% federal rate, plus another 13.3% in California state taxes. By shifting just 20% of her holdings into high-quality munis, she reduced her annual taxable income by $40,000 and saved $16,000 in federal taxes. Ultimately, chasing the highest pre-tax returns isn't enough. What truly matters is how much you keep. By integrating tax loss harvesting, our active tax overlay, and strategic municipal bond allocations, TrueRoot ensures a far greater share of your gains stays exactly where it belongs, in your pocket. Step 2, optimize your equity. When you've built a significant chunk of your net worth in your employer's stock through RSUs, stock options, or early founder shares, you can feel like you've hit the jackpot. Yet that very success can become a hidden vulnerability, because when your salary, career prospects, and investments all live under one roof, a stumble by your company can knock you off balance on several fronts at once. We call this concentration risk, and reducing it is the heart of our equity optimization process. To address this, we start every engagement with a gap analysis. We remove every share of your company stock from your financial plan as if it simply didn't exist, and then ask, With zero equity in hand, could you still fund all of your goals like cover private school tuition, maintain your desired lifestyle, and pursue philanthropic goals? If the answer is yes, you have clear room to diversify. If no, you know precisely how much equity must remain to keep your plan on track. Think of your company stock as an inheritance of a prime vineyard. In a stellar vintage, you harvest cases of world-class wine that underwrite your lifestyle. But what if a blight hits the vines? You would be wise to sell a portion of this year's yield to acquire grapes elsewhere, ensuring you never run dry. That's exactly how we guide high net worth clients to safeguard multi-million-dollar portfolios. We then craft a multi-year selling schedule aligned with your vesting calendar and your tax bracket objectives. For example, one client with $8 million in RSUs determined through our gap analysis that $4 million was sufficient to fund her goals. We structured sales of $600,000 in year one and $700,000 each in year 2 through 5, keeping her marginal rate below 37% each year and freeing up capital for a second home without triggering an unexpectedly large tax bill. Whether you're in a publicly traded tech giant or leading a late-stage startup, we model different exit scenarios: an IPO at $50 per share, a flat $35 outcome, or a downturn to $20, and recommend selling just enough shares to secure critical goals, funding a family foundation, seeding your next venture, or underwriting a multi-year sabbatical. To execute these plans seamlessly, we employ cashless option exercises, leveraging your broader asset base as collateral so you never have to liquidate an entire position at once. We also set up 10b5-1 trading plans that automatically schedule sales at preset intervals, eliminating emotion and ensuring full compliance with insider trading rules. By combining a precise gap analysis, phased sales to manage high bracket tax exposure, and sophisticated execution tools, we help you convert the potential volatility of concentrated equity into a predictable, multi-million-dollar engine for your broader financial and legacy objectives. Step 3, execute advanced tax strategies. Once you've diversified your equity and investments, it's time to layer in advanced tax strategies that can truly move the needle on your lifetime tax bill, often by hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. One of the most powerful tools in our toolkit is the Qualified Small Business Stock Exclusion, commonly known as QSBS. Under Section 1202 of the Tax Code, if you acquire shares directly from a U.S. C corporation and hold it for at least 5 years, or 3 years under recent legislation, you can exclude up to 100% of the capital gain on those shares. That exclusion applies to the greater of $10 million of gain, or 10 times your original basis. This exclusion was increased to $15 million in the latest legislation. In practical terms, that can turn a multi-million-dollar tax liability into zero. To qualify for the QSBS exclusion, the issuing company must meet several criteria. It needs to be a domestic C corporation with less than $75 million in assets at the time of your purchase, and at least 80% of its assets must be used in active business operations rather than held passively. You must acquire the stock directly from the company, either for cash, property, or services, and hold on to it long enough for the exclusion to vest. Recent law changes have shortened the required holding period and increased both the asset size threshold and the exclusion cap, making QSBS more accessible than ever. Consider the experience of one of our clients who invested $1.2 million into his own early-stage startup. 5 years later, his shares had grown to $10 million. Without QSBS, he would have faced roughly $3.3 million in federal capital gains tax. We helped him prepare carefully for this exemption by verifying the company's eligibility, documenting his direct purchase, and making sure the company was compliant with the QSBS requirement. He was able to exclude the entire gain. The $3.3 million he saved went straight back into new ventures, fueling his next chapter. Another advanced strategy we implement for clients who get equity grants is the Section 83B election, which often feels counterintuitive at first but can produce dramatic long-term savings. Normally, restricted shares are taxed as ordinary income when they vest, potentially at very high rates. By filing an 83B election within 30 days of grant, you instead elect to recognize that income at the grant date, often when the stock's fair market value is negligible. From that point on, any future appreciation is taxed at the more favorable capital gains rate. Imagine planting an acorn and paying a small planting fee up front, rather than paying a much larger fee when the oak tree finally bears 1,000 acorns decades later. That small planting fee is your 83B tax hit, and the future acorn harvest is taxed as capital gain, not ordinary income. One of our entrepreneur clients filed an 83B on 200,000 restricted shares valued at 0.05 each, recognizing only $10,000 of income in that first year. When his company later sold for $50 per share, the resulting $999 million gain enjoyed long-term capital gains treatment instead of being taxed as ordinary income, saving him well over $2 million. Finally, it's worth noting that setting up certain types of trusts can multiply your effective QSBS exclusion. By establishing multiple trusts, each eligible to claim its own QSBS benefit, you can expand the total amount of gain sheltered from tax. We work with specialized estate planning partners to structure these vehicles so they align seamlessly with your overall strategy. But the key takeaway is that trusts can amplify the benefits of QSBS when your estate plan calls for it. In our experience, clients who integrate QSBS planning and 83B elections into their broader financial playbook often see their tax savings projections grow from 6 figures to 7 figures. These advanced techniques transform a traditional wealth plan into a dynamic, tax-optimized roadmap that accelerates your path to lasting financial independence. Step 4, safeguard your future. As advisors to high net worth families, we know that preserving wealth extends far beyond investments and tax planning. It means building a comprehensive safety net that protects your family and your legacy from life's unexpected turns. Our first priority is crafting an estate plan tailored to your goals. We typically begin by setting up a revocable living trust to transfer your primary residence and investment accounts directly to your heirs, bypassing probates, delays, and expenses. We also help draft a durable power of attorney and advance healthcare directive, naming trusted individuals to manage your finances and medical decisions if you become incapacitated. One client, a technology entrepreneur with 3 young children, told us this plan felt like putting seatbelts on our family's future. No matter what happens, his children's inheritance and well-being are secured. Insurance forms the next layer of protection. For families whose estates approach or exceed today's federal exemption, $13.99 million per person or nearly $28 million per married couple, estate taxes can loom as a significant risk. In this case, we help advise on advanced trust planning strategies such as creating irrevocable trusts that both reduce your estate tax as well as provide protection from creditors and lawsuits. Establishing an irrevocable trust is a sensitive issue because once you give the money to the trust, it cannot be taken back. So this is where we work with our clients to determine the right amount to give away, as well as the right estate plan that helps them minimize taxes and helps them with their goals, such as maintaining a certain lifestyle, and other goals such as creating a legacy, wealth transfer to kids, and charity. To address estate taxes, we also often recommend establishing an irrevocable life insurance trust. In one case, a couple with $15 million in combined assets placed a $4 million life insurance policy inside an irrevocable life insurance trust. Because the trust owns and is the beneficiary of the policy, the death benefit sits outside their taxable estate. When it pays out, their heirs receive immediate liquidity to cover any estate taxes, ensuring the family's private ranch and closely held business don't have to be sold under duress. Asset protection strategies frequently complement our estate and insurance planning. We might transfer rental properties or operating businesses into limited liability companies or family limited partnerships, separating personal assets from potential claims. One of our clients, a senior executive with a multi-state rental portfolio, was concerned that a single lawsuit could wipe out decades of savings. By reorganizing his holdings into LLCs and a family partnership, we significantly reduced his personal exposure and created an efficient vehicle for annual gifting under the federal gift tax exclusion. For families entering new marriages, we also discuss prenuptial agreements, not as a cynical contract, but as a protective tool, ensuring that premarital assets intended for children from prior unions remain intact. A client of ours, remarrying after a divorce, used this approach to safeguard his $8 million investment balance for his daughter's future without casting a shadow over his new marriage. In another case, we helped a client going through a divorce understand their income and asset needs so that they can work through a fair split of assets and spousal support in mediation. Building this protective framework is like fortifying a castle. Trusts and legal documents form the walls, insurance policies the moat, and entity structures the guard towers. Together, they ensure that no matter what storms arise, illness, lawsuits, or tax law changes, your family's financial well-being and the legacy you've worked so hard to create remain secure. Step 5, plan your legacy and lifestyle. Once our clients have diversified their assets, optimized for taxes, and built a solid protection framework, they inevitably ask, what's next? They want to know how much they can spend on the lifestyle they've earned, whether that means taking extended sabbaticals, buying second homes, or supporting causes close to their hearts. They also wonder how to support their children and leave a lasting inheritance, all while honoring the charitable missions that reflect their values. To answer these questions, we create long-term cash flow models that project 70 to 90 years into the future. In one memorable case, a software executive with a family and 2 kids dreamed of retiring early and splitting their time between San Francisco and Paris. Using our model, we mapped every source of income, including his equity sale, portfolio withdrawals, and rental property cash flows, against all planned expenses, taxes, lifestyle goals, and philanthropic commitments. The forecast showed that he could afford this beginning at age 50, provided he made modest adjustments to his annual withdrawal rate. Without that clarity, he risked depleting his nest egg unexpectedly. With this clarity, he would be able to live his dream life that he had always pictured for himself and his family, while having the peace of mind that he was financially secure. In another example, a couple in their early 40s came to us wanting to retire by age 52 and donate at least $250,000 each year to a family foundation. Our projections revealed that, under their current plan, they would face a shortfall starting around age 75. To bridge that gap, we recommended a phased giving schedule that gradually reduced annual contributions after age 75, paired with opportunistic Roth IRA conversions during lower income years. This combination smoothed their cash flows and preserved their legacy giving without jeopardizing their own standard of living. When it comes to structuring charitable gifts, we guide clients through multiple vehicles. Many choose donor-advised funds, which offer an immediate tax benefit and allow them to distribute grants on a flexible timetable. Others, particularly those with larger philanthropic ambitions or a desire for active grant-making, opt for private foundations, even though these require more compliance and administrative work. For families making very large gifts, we sometimes recommend charitable lead trusts. A tech entrepreneur recently used a charitable lead trust to provide annual income to his alma mater for a decade, with the remainder reverting to his heirs. This strategy delivered significant upfront tax savings while still preserving the ultimate inheritance he intended for his children. Your legacy is like planting an orchard. You put in years of careful cultivation, planting the trees, tending the soil, and ensuring each sapling takes root. Over time, that orchard bears fruit not only for you, but for future generations and the broader community. Strategic giving makes sure your orchard thrives long after you're gone, feeding your family's needs and nurturing the causes you care about most. By combining detailed multi-decade cash flow analysis with tax planning and thoughtful spending guidelines, we help high net worth individuals design a lifestyle and legacy plan that endures. You gain the confidence to live fully today, knowing that your tomorrow and the tomorrows of those you love are secure. Step 6. Partner with the right advisor. Putting all 6 of these critical steps into action takes time, expertise, and unwavering discipline. Attempting to navigate them on your own can easily lead to costly mistakes or missed opportunities. That's where TrueRoot Financial comes in. We bring deep equity expertise to the table, having guided countless tech professionals through the nuances of RSUs, ISOs, tender offers, and equity grants. We operate on a fiduciary, fee-only basis. Our interests are perfectly aligned with yours. Your success is literally how we earn our keep. But we don't stop at investments and taxes. We weave insurance, estate planning, and lifestyle design into one seamless strategy, ensuring that every piece of your financial life works together. Consider one of our clients, a former CEO who had spent months piecing together tax strategies from internet forums. He moved forward with an ISO exercise plan that overnight triggered a $70,000 alternative minimum tax bill. Frustrated, he turned to us. We reevaluated his entire exercise schedule, recaptured $45,000 of that AMT through corrective elections and timing adjustments, and then built automated alerts and decision workflows so he'll never face a surprise tax hit again. Trying to manage your wealth solo is like assembling a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle in the dark. Yes, pieces can fit together by chance, but with the lights on and a seasoned advisor guiding each move, you'll complete the picture quickly, confidently, and with far fewer missing pieces. Thank you for your time today. Remember, preserving and growing your wealth is a journey. Investing tax smart, optimizing equity, executing advanced tax strategies, safeguarding your future, planning your legacy, and partnering with the right advisor. If you'd like to speak with me directly to learn how we can help you preserve and grow your net worth, please book a no-obligatory introductory call by going to our website, www.truerootfinancial.com. I look forward to speaking with you soon.